Well met.
Well met. My name's Westicus, and I play World of Warcraft, and this is my main. I'm a 975 Night Elf Mage, which I've played since the beginning of Warlords of Draenor, is when I rerolled to this class, and I don't ever foresee changing. It's my favorite class in game that I've ever played. I've played it all throughout Legion, as a raider. I've done a little bit of PvP, but I'm mainly a PvE player, doing Mythic Plus and raiding. You can see I have ahead of the curve Argus the Unmaker, Kil'jaeden, Gul'dan, Helya, and Xavius, of which I played my mage for all. And currently with my raiding guild, I am 6 out of 11 in Taurus the Burning Throne, MNR being the last one we killed, currently working on Kingrath. I played all 3 specs. I am comfortable with all 3, although currently Fire is my main for raiding, mainly because I enjoy its playstyle the most, and Cauterize being a free cheat death is very important in progression raiding. But today I want to make a plea for this talent right here, Alextraza Fury. A couple of weeks ago, an alpha build was put up where they changed some of the fire mage talents, and that's what I want to talk about today. First off, 2 talents they removed. Conflagration, which is just an extra dot that has a chance to do some AoE damage every time you fireball a target. And then Cinderstorm, which is an you would just use this on cooldown. It was kind of like a skill shot kind of thing. It was really weird. No one really enjoyed playing with it. But those 2 have been removed. And in their place, we can see here, this is the beta talent tree currently for the Fire Mage. In their place, they have been replaced with 2 talents. Searing Torch, Scorch deals 300% increased damage and is a guaranteed critical strike when the target is below 30% health. And Pyroclasm. Consuming Hot Streak has a 15% chance to make your next non-instant cast Pyroblast cast within 15 seconds, deal 300% increased damage. If you know anything about Fire Mage in the current Legion, you know exactly what those 2 are. Obviously, Searing Torch is the Corlon's Burning Torch legendary belt, which will give you your Scorch increased damage. And obviously, Pyroclasm is the infamous Marquee Bindings of the Sun King Pyroblast Blazers. Now, I just want to say these are excellent talent choices. Conflagration and Cinderstorm. Conflagration was a boring talent that just gave you a little bit more AoE damage. Replacing that with an active below 30% execute Scorch kind of thing is very cool. This was a very fun legendary to use. I think it's an excellent change. And obviously, get rid of Cinderstorm. No one enjoyed playing with it. It had a weird arc to it. It could pull extra mobs, and it was just something you used on cooldown. It's not that interesting or interactive, whereas the effect of the Pyro Blazers was key throughout all of Legion for the Fire Mage. If you're playing Fire Mage without it, it's almost like the spec was missing something. And I'm glad they've added this in place of... I'm glad they added the belt in place of Conflagrate in the first tier. I think it's a way better talent, adds more gameplay, and playing without the bracers on the Fire Mage just feels like the spec would be missing something. Obviously going to be competing with Meteor and Kindling, but I think those are excellent talent chases, and I want to congratulate Blizzard on doing that. But what I want to talk about, those are cool, and I just wanted to shout that out. But while we're on the topic of legendaries being turned into talents, I want to talk about the level 60 tier. This is what it looks like currently in Legion. You have Alextraza Fury. Dragon's Breath always critically strikes and contributes to Hot Streak. Flame On, reduce the cooldown of Fire Blast by 2 seconds, and increase maximum number of charges by 1, and Control Burn. When you gain healing up, you have a 20% chance to instantly activate Hot Streak. This talent tier is the same in Legion, currently. Or, not in Legion, I apologize. This talent tier is the exact same in Battle for Azeroth, except for the fact that Controlled Burn has been removed, and Phoenix Flames has put in its place there. So Phoenix Flames are artifact ability, it's baseline in Legion. It's going into a talent in BFA. Now, I'm not so thrilled about this change. That's not what I want to talk about, but I will just tangent for a sec. I think this was a key part of the Fire Mage. It gave you way more chances to activate Hot Streaks and get more Pyroblast and Flame Strikes out when you needed them. Putting it into a talent, I think it's going to be a must pick if we look at the talent here. This is level 60 talent in BFA. I think it's going to be a must pick. But if Blizzard wants to put it in a talent and try it out for a little while, I'm okay. Maybe I could see Flame On could be good as well. These are 2 really strong talents. It's going to be hard to pick for them. I think Phoenix Flames is going to win out, but I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to try it in the talent format and see how it works. But what really kills me in this talent tier is this: Alextraza Fury. this talent has been with Fire Mage throughout all of Legion as well. And in Legion, it was never picked, except alongside this right here. This is another legendary for the Fire Mage. This is Daedric's Dragonfire Diadem, or the Dragon Breath Helm. What it does is it increases your Dragon's Breath damage by 100% and range by 25 yards. Alextraza's Fury, paired with this helm, was actually a very valuable talent when it came to mass AoE. Things like Scorpion, Helia, when she would go into the transition phase and all the undead guys would spawn, Portal Keeper, ANR in Taurus right now. When Alextraza is combined with the helm, it made this talent very viable and very good. First I want to show you is Dragon's Breath with the helm and without the helm. So this is without the helm. You can see the helm is in my bags. If we zoom out a little bit here, the arc makes it to almost the edge of this stone here, if you can see. You see, which is without the helm. And if you take this talent without the helm, first off, you're losing Flame On, which is a lot of single target damage and a lot of extra instant pyroblast or flame strikes that you would need in a fight for this, which is without the helm. It's honestly it's worthless, because if you every 20 seconds, which is the cooldown of Dragon's Breath, you're gonna have to blink into melee, and then you're gonna have to Dragon's Breath, and then you're either gonna blink out if you have a second blink, or scorch your way out, because you don't want to be in melee range, because that's where scary stuff happens. You don't want to be in there. But if you're taking this Fury talent and you don't have the helm, then that's what you're going to be doing. And it's just there's no way it can compare to Flame On without the helm. You blink in, you Dragon's Breath, and then you blink back out, and you've used both your mobility for a minuscule amount of AoE damage. Is that what you want to do? No, it's not what you want to do. You're going to be taking Flame On. So we saw Dragon's Breath without the helm. Now, if we put the helm on, you can only have one legendary or two legendaries. Put the helm on, wait 10 seconds for the cooldown. We'll see the range difference here. Look, it hits all four of these mobs. I'm not even looking at this guy. Hits him, and it even goes past them a little bit. Whereas before, if you remember, without the helm, it barely makes it past this little girl here. And also, I want to take a look at the numbers, because not only does this increase the range, it increases the damage. Without the helm on, put my other helm back on in my ring, this deals 320,000 damage. If we look at my fireball, it deals 280,000, 290,000. So it just deals a little bit more than a fireball on a 20-second cooldown, and you have to be in melee range. Whereas if you equip the helm, this is even without a ring in that slot, it's doing almost 650,000 damage, which is more than a pyroblast. So all of a sudden it takes a spell that does like no damage. It's mainly just for the disorient that you would use it. It turns it into an actual part of the DPS rotation. When combined with Alextraza's Fury to always crit and give you a hot streak, this comes very good in large AoE situations where you would like imps on Portal Keeper or ANR, like I said before. So my plea, so if we look at the talent tier for BFA, we see Phoenix Flames, which obviously is going to be very viable and a good talent to pick. Flame On, which has been proven to be very good. And Alextraza's Fury, which as of now is currently unchanged from live. That is our talent tier at 60. Alextraza's Fury will never be taken in this current level 60 tier. Never be taken in any situation whatsoever, period. Why? Well, all we have to do is look at Legion. As I stated earlier, Alextraza's Fury was a good talent in large AoE situations when combined with the helm. If you weren't using the helm, this was never the correct choice. Never the correct choice. Flame On was always correct unless large AoE situations, like I said, combined with the helm. And there are even times where you would use the helm, but not Alextraza's Fury. You might say, well, when would you do that? The example I give is Mythic Portal Keeper. Uh, she spawns imps. People have to go up in the portals, kill single target ads, and then while that's happening, she's spawning imps down below on the platform. Many different imps, and they all start casting. If one of those casts gets off, it does large AoE damage. It's probably a wipe. If two gets off, it's a guaranteed wipe. So, I stay down on that fight to kill the imps because I'm a fire mage. Turns out I'm really good at AoE. Killing imps is kind of what fire mages do. And I do use the helm on that fight, but I don't use Alextraza's Fury. The reason I use the helm is to be able to reach the imps in the back of the room and cancel their cast with the Dragon's Breath Disorient. Because I only have one interrupt counterspell on a 24-second cooldown. I need some other way to CC those ads, or else they're going to cast and get off. And the melee, most of the time, can't help me, because the imps are spawning in that giant purple thing of death that they have to move out of. So it's me and a couple other ranged are the only ones that can get to those ads. So that's why I take the helm there. I don't use it for damage. I don't use it on cooldown. I save it purely for the last second. If a cast is about to go off, boom, interrupt. I don't use it for damage. And all Alextraza's Fury does is enhance the helm with crit and hot streak. Now you say, well, the hot streak could be good because that'll lead to more flame strikes for you to kill the imps with. Well, Flame On gives you way more hot streaks than Alextraza's Fury could ever hope to give you. Plus, Flame On is going to give you way more single target damage on the boss. If the talent is dead without the helm, and even with the helm you wouldn't take it sometimes, why on earth would you ever take this in a BFA world when you don't have the helm and it's competing with Phoenix Flames? It would never be taken. Ever. Because Phoenix Flames, it itself does AoE. It splashes to 2, I think, with current artifact traits, I think it splashes to 5. Yeah, but baseline, without the artifact traits, it's 3. It'll splash to 3 extra targets. And it comes with 3 charges. So that's 9 targets right there you can hit, which will give you a full hot streak for a pyroblast or a flame strike, plus an extra heating up. Whereas Alextraza's Fury gives you 1, and your Dragon's Breath crits. And without this, the range is nothing, so you're going to have to blink in. And also without this, without the 100% increased damage, it does no damage. It's like hitting every mob in front of you for a critted fireball. Okay? On 20-second cooldown that you have to blink into melee range for? That's not good at all. So, my plea to Blizzard. They've shown that they don't mind taking some of these cooler legendaries from Legion that they introduce, like the Burning Torch and the Bracers, and adding them to the talent tree, which is awesome. So what my plea is to take Alextraza's Fury and just take the Dragon's Breath helm and just put them together. Bake the helm into the Alextraza's Fury talent, and all of a sudden you go from a talent tier that's probably going to be dominated by Phoenix Flames. You might take Flame On to never taking Alextraza's Fury, to all of a sudden you have a 60 tier that's actually quite competitive with one another. Phoenix Flames will probably be the go-to, as I said earlier. But I could see Flame On being good in maybe single target situations where the cleave from Phoenix Flames isn't as good, and you're going to get more hot streaks from Flame On because they reduce cooldown and the extra charge. And then Alextraza's Fury with the helm baked in, all of a sudden that's the go-to mass AoE talent for big AoE fights where there's lots of imps or spiders or whatever you're killing in BFA. And all of a sudden you have a very competitive level 60 talent tier. Whereas right now, the way it sits, Dragon Breath always critically strikes and contributes to hot streak. That's the power level of that is so low compared to Flame On and Phoenix Flames. I don't see how it would ever be chosen. So in conclusion, I would love to see the Alextraza's Fury talent have the Dragon's Breath helm baked in. You could even remove the damage component. I think the damage component needs to stay to keep it on the same power level as Phoenix Flames and Flame On. But if you don't want to do that, I think the range alone should be baked in. If not for the, you don't have to go into melee range to do it, you saw that there, that's the Dragon's Breath. It's a cool animation for sure. Shout out to the art team. You guys do fantastic work. That's a cool animation. But, imagine that animation with 25 extra yards. You saw it before. Here it is now. In 3, 2, 1, cooldowns. Look at that. Do you want to lose that going into BFA? That's such a cool animation. It's such a big moment when a fire mage sees all the imps spawn and all the stuff comes out and the living bombs going off, and then he drops the dragon's breath and pah! Combust is going. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic moment, and I'd hate to see that lose. I'd hate to see us lose this animation alone. I'd hate to see us lose, but I also want to see a level 60 talent tier that is competitive and has choices aside from always pick Phoenix Flames. But that's all I had to say. I want to thank everyone for watching. Leave your comments down below. If you disagree, if you agree, tweet this at Blizzard. Tell them Alextraza Fury. Make Alextraza Fury great again. Thank you.